as a buck, yeah, stuck it out. Impressed by the words out the MC's mouths, I would imitate, try to spit it great. Just looking in the mirror couldn't be any clearer. Future held stardom in my eyes, a sparkle out the window in the park. They rock non-stop. My introduction to the world of hip-hop. My mouth drooled at the sight of a mic. Saw ciphers get sparked underneath the street light. Either 40 ounces, reefer and 3 dice. I seek life through the culture that formed. Early 80s to now, took the world by storm.
Tupac Shakur is on everyone's list of the greatest rappers ever. His swaggering bravado, hardcore lyrics, and biting truth-telling made him a larger-than-life figure. His tragic death made him a legend, an icon, and a martyr. Though portrayed by the media as a great gangster rapper, he was also an activist, a revolutionary, and a fascinating young man. Shakur's story is poignant, inspiring, and tragic, especially when looked at from different and often conflicting angles, including the often overlooked history behind his revolutionary activist family life.
That's what it's all about. I was raised in the era of hip-hop. Right shoulder, carry a boombox. Chain swinging, Christmas singing.
Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, was born Alice Faye Williams. As a high school dropout, she hung out with gangs in North Carolina and later relocated to Brooklyn, New York. There, she met and dated a member of Malcolm X's security detail. This was her introduction to the radical faction of America's civil rights era. They were a long time ago, but Afeni remembers her earliest days in New York this way. Ray was my boyfriend. I guess that's what you'd call it. He was 33 and I was 18. We used to do things together. We go to all the events, discovering the new woman and new man we wanted to be. We would do LSD and sit on the fire escape, listening to Jimi Hendrix and Sly and the Family Stone, and we would visualize, actually dream about being hitmen, contract killers. We wanted to be professional killers. I think that was a common fantasy at that time. Black people were taking a lot of abuse, so you would dream of yourself as somebody who could and would take care of some of the grievances. This is pre-Panthers. Then I joined the Panthers, because they answered the needs of the people in my community. I believed in those programs, and I still believe in participating in your community. By 1968, the former Alice Faye Williams was now Afeni Shakur, a member of a New York chapter of the Black Panther Party, and wife of Lumumba Abdul Shakur, a prominent party organizer. The Black Panther Party was a free-thinking, radical, and revolutionary organization that advocated drastic change in the socio-political status of African Americans. Tired of America's foot-dragging and outright defiant response to Dr. Martin Luther King's peaceful protests, the Panthers decided to promote fair opportunity and the end of all racism and oppression for all people, by any means necessary. That meant they accepted and even promoted violence when needed. This elicited a lot of fear from a number of quarters throughout the country. And for that, the Panthers took a lot of heat from local, city, state, and federal law enforcement. In 1971, Afeni was one of 21 Panthers indicted in a controversial trial regarding a bomb plot. After her arrest, Afeni sat in the Women's House of Detention in Greenwich Village, patting her very pregnant belly. She declared she was carrying a prince, whose destiny was to save the black nation. The jury eventually freed all 21 defendants, including Afeni, before Lassane Parish Crooks was born on June 16, 1971. Lumumba was not Tupac's father, and the baby's father had already split from Afeni. To her credit, Afeni did notify Lumumba that her little black prince was not his. but Afeni wouldn't reveal who Tupac's real father was. She did, however, change her baby's name to Tupac Amaru Shakur. The name Tupac Amaru means shining royal serpent in Quechua. Afeni borrowed it from Tupac Amaru II, an Inca leader and warrior who came to power in 1570s Peru. Shakur translates to thankful to God in Arabic. After having Tupac, Afeni moved in with Lumumba's adopted brother, Dr. Mutulu Shakur, the former Jarrell Wayne Williams. Every boy needs a father, and Mutulu Shakur became a stepfather figure to Tupac. Mutulu and Tupac bonded, and Tulu, as Pac called him, maintained an influential and inspirational relationship with the super rap star throughout his life. In an interview, Mutulu recalled some of their early times this way. Tupac was always on top of what was happening. I mean, we spent many days and nights together when he was a little kid. I can recall when he would sit in on meetings, and he would say to me, "You don't like him, do you, Tulu?" And added, "I don't like him either." He was obviously a supreme listener, and one who would dissect every topic and come to his own conclusion and opinion. I don't know if you know about the early movement days. Anywhere in the civil rights movement, the black liberation movement, church movement, or whatever, meetings dominated your life. Meetings, 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 and more meetings. And Pac would be present at all of them. He would listen intently, and sometimes he would fall asleep, and when he would awake, I'd ask, "Are you ready to leave?" And he'd always say, "No, I want to stay." Years ago, we used to do concerts for political prisoners in Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, and all around the country. Pac would always be on the stage, talking and meeting everyone. Everyone liked to talk to Tupac, because his eyes always indicated that he wanted to hear what you had to say. His attentiveness as a young child was extremely powerful. He would just sit there and they just loved to talk to him. At an early age, he was of the people. Tupac's new family was about as far from white bread as you could get. An extended family tree of high-profile black activists and revolutionaries. And that brought chronic police harassment. At an early age, Tupac learned to cope with losing his loved ones to sudden death or imprisonment, and personally experienced the federal government's surveillance and dirty tricks. In 1973, Pac was a toddler when his Uncle Zaid and companion Assata Shakur were stopped by a New Jersey state trooper, Warner Forrester, while driving on the New Jersey Turnpike. Though the circumstances surrounding it are debatable, the traffic stop turned into a gun battle that left both Zaid and Forrester dead. Wounded, Assata survived, but a jury convicted her in State Trooper Forrester's death. 6 years later, in 1979, Assata escaped prison, again highlighting the family's nonconformity, resourcefulness, and controversial underground nature. Assata fled to Cuba and still lives there today, under political asylum granted by the Castro regime. In 1972, Tupac was only a year old when his godfather was sent to prison. Geronimo Jijaga, the former Geronimo Pratt, was a high-ranking Panther. Ignoring his innocent plea, the jury convicted Geronimo of a bizarre and sensational robbery murder of a woman on a tennis court in California. Even after Geronimo was sent to prison, many people maintained he was innocent. Not only did the prosecution's key witness lie under oath, hiding their relationship with law enforcement, but the FBI even penetrated Geronimo's defense team, sabotaging his defense, led by attorney Johnny Cochran of OJ fame. 25 years later, Geronimo's case was finally dismissed, and he was freed in 1997.